Hello, hello, hello. I'm so sorry if you've been waiting. Look at this, you can't even see because I am yet again wrestling with Facebook, who said that it was all fine and dandy and then decided that it wasn't. And I had to rotate my phone again. Shockers. Anyway, so sorry if you came on 2 seconds ago and then I abruptly disappeared and spun round 16 times, but here I am. Hello everybody, hope that you're well and I hope that you've had a really super week. And what amazing weather it's been. I was in the sea today and it was just lovely getting back in. I've got loads to tell you today. So we've got lots of questions and answers, and thank you so much for everybody who sent those in. And look, this is a little sneaky peek and a hint of what I might be talking to you about. It's not a little lens cloth, look at that. I know you're all expecting me to pull a rabbit out of my hat now, but I haven't got one of those yet. But I have got some super specials to be sharing just with you. I'm not going to go into them, all of them in detail today, but I hope to have them all back next week. And I think that you would quite like to have a look at the Enyo gift guide that there is. And if you do, then all you need to do is drop me a little message and I will fire that off to you, and you can have a little look at all of our specials in all of their glory. So that's exciting, isn't it? But this has been my main friend today, and very soon you'll be able to get one too. Oh, excitement. Right, so what have you all been up to and how has your Enyo world been this week? So, oh, Chris, how lovely to have you here. If you're on catch up, you don't know what I'm talking about, then Enyo is a system of cleaning with cold water and a fibre, various different colours because they all respond to different sorts of dirt. And it's completely sustainable. Our fibres are completely recyclable. It's the most eco-friendly cleaning system in the world, right? And if you'd like to know a little bit more, then get in touch. I can tell you a little bit about that. But today we are going to crack on with more of your questions. And thank you for everybody who sent questions in. It's not too late. You can fire me one here. We might not even get through them all today, and so we might do a bit more too. So if you still have a burning Enyo question, please, please, please get in touch and let me know. But I'm going to head, I've got various bits of paper scattered around the room to remind me. I'm going to start off with the kitchen, all right? And someone sent in a question that said, when I'm doing the kitchen cupboards, so I imagine cleaning the kitchen cupboards with your glove and Enyo, so you'll be using your Enyo-Tex fibres, these two here. When I'm using these in my kitchen to clean around, I still find that I end up with little bits. So what can I do about that? Great question. Now, it's a bit like in the bathroom, really. You know how when you finish cleaning with the bathroom fibres, you've still got bits of lint and stuff like that, and we say go in with the duster. The fibre that is made to pick up crumbs and bits and pieces is this beautiful little all-purpose cloth here. So I know that quite a lot of my commercial clients who have B&Bs and they're, you know, go in the morning and they need to clean around, they would use the all-purpose cloth first because its job is, it's a terrific crumb catcher. So go in with this one first and then go in with your deep pore clean. That's 6 times more bacteria pickup than if you use a chemical. So I would just split the function a little bit. I would use this one first to pick up the crumbs, and then I would get on to using those two. So hopefully that will be a great solution. Good question. Thank you very much. Right, next question was about wax wipes. So I don't know about you, but we started progressing onto these about a year ago now. So rather than using red wine, full glass on the carpet. Oh, well done, Enyo, on Chris's carpet. Well done. Right, so So about a year ago now, we moved away from using cling film in the house and we decided to go onto wax wipes. Has anyone else got some of these? I love them. They're just great. You rinse them out and then you put them over your food and you squash them in and they hold. But the point is, how do you clean those? Because we know, don't we, that these fibres here are amazing at picking up grease and picking up like deep pore. And actually, if someone spilt candle wax, I would say go and clean it off with your kitchen fibres. So if you use that on this all the time, you'd be forever recoating it. So all I do with mine is I wipe off the crumbs with my super crumb collector. All right, so my all-purpose cloth, remember this one I love, you can wring it out, use it to your heart's content. But I just wash them in, I wash them in hot, warmish, soapy, Enyo washing up liquid water, and that just gives it a very quick clean. Then I just hang them out to dry. Right, Kathleen, I'm just going to halt here and see if I can read your comment. Makes it so easy to clean. Fantastic. Do you know what? I just don't know how I would survive without Enyo now either. I could not go back to all that rinsing and cleaning and cleaning and rinsing. So if you have any of these in the cupboard that you're using to cover food, just wax pieces of material, nice and sustainable, then I use my all-purpose cloth, and occasionally I use a little bit of Enyo's washing up liquid detergent, very loosely. But I would steer away from your deep pore glove because you may find that it takes all the wax off, which you don't want. Right, next question, which relates to this little Herbert, the kitchen wand, and I suppose also relates to the bathroom wand, if you have one of those. All right, now, I get people who say it's really hard to reopen that because it's quite, maybe your thumbs are quite stiff or the popper is quite stiff. So little trick and little hint. If you take the label, and all of Enyo's fibres have a label and all of them have a lifetime indicator on. If you take the label and take it outside, and then if you pull the other side, you'll find it opens easy peasy lemon squeezy. Exactly the same on the bathroom. So the fibre is out. Let me get here so you can see. Right, the fibre is out. All I then need to do is pull the fibre and the popper will open. So if you are having a problem, all right, then if you put your label outside on your kitchen wand or on your bathroom wand, you will find super easy to open. I bet you'd known that. I bet you wish you'd known that years ago. I did. All right, so fantastic. And you may find that that is just the Herbert for you. Right, so let's move on and talk about skin next. And well, actually, for everybody who sent in a question or asked a question tonight, I did one prize draw last week that the lovely Chris pulled out for us. And I've got another one of these little beauties, exfoliating pads to give away for questions that we're doing tonight. And anybody who puts a question on, and we'll draw it next week. But let's move on to skin. So someone said here, which I think is a great question, they said, how come I use cold water for everything, but I can use hot water for skincare? How does that work? I think that's a great question. Now, if it was a case that I was dealing with bacteria, so if the girls had conjunctivitis or Rebecca fell off her bike yesterday and scalped her knee, then I would clean that with an iPad and cool water, so the fibres are shut. Same when I take off any makeup, it's lukewarm because I want the fibres to be shut and to grab and to hold. So how can I have a hot shower then? Well, what happens then is the fibres trap, hold and release all at the same time. So that's why you don't pong, because we only pong because of bacteria. So we know it's removing the bacteria, but we don't all shower in cold water. Phew, what a relief. But that's the difference. Right, so if you were dealing with infection, if you're dealing with bacteria, maybe you've got gunky eyes on your pets or your teeth or a wound or whatever, then I would be doing that with coolish water below 30 degrees when the fibres are shut, but in the shower you can do the other because trap, hold, release all at the same time. Brilliant. Right, Danielle, I'm just going to read your question. What fibre can I use for a damp dust? Oh, I love this question. This is my favourite fibre in the world. So I am going to finish my skin and then we're going to do that one next, Danielle. So excited someone asked that. Right. The next question about skin is, this is not me, I hasten to add, but it's a really fair question. Can I use Enyo eye pads on false eyelashes? Good question. Because lots of folk are wearing them now, quite the craze. And so what you don't want to do is remove them. So I went to the experts. It wasn't me, let me tell you. And I have some people who said, actually, it all depends on the strength of the glue. So if you have a high quality lash, then actually Enyo will not remove that and you can just gently go across it. If you have maybe a lower quality glue, then it can break that down completely. So if you wanted to remove them, then Enyo's absolutely the thing. And you can clean off your false eyelashes too, very gently with your iPad, and it will just remove all the gunk from that and get them ready for wearing again, which is fantastic. But if you're not sure of the quality of the glue that stuck them on, just err on a little bit of caution. So as we are all getting ready to, I don't know, have a very blingy Zoom over Christmas, and your false eyelashes are on, then just remember what you can use. Right, I'm going to digress for a moment because I'm going to talk about Danielle's question. Right, so I just need to grab a fibre, which I hope is in here. Bear with me a moment. Right. Okay, lovely Danielle. This is the answer to your question. Do we have a damp duster? Absolutely we do. We're Enyo. Of course we have a damp duster. So we know that if we dry dust, we're going to use the orange one up there. If we damp dust, then we might be doing that across all sorts of surfaces. I might be doing that on waxed wood. I might be doing it on sealed wood. I might be wiping down a door frame. But we're going across a whole plethora of surfaces, and therefore we need to use a really soft fibre, which means that we're not chopping and changing. Now, the softest fibre that Enyo do is this bobbly fibre. It's only dirty because I was cleaning shoes with it. All right, if you have a look, that's the loopy fibre, the soft fibre on the back of the textile glove. So I could put my hand in here and damp dust with all of that. I would only be drying behind, and then it would be with the living Enyo. I would only do that if I'm looking for a high shine. So sorts of places that would be, well, TV screens, glass panel doors, etc, etc. However, as you can see on this, and I thought we might get to this later, but we might not, then on my glove, I tend to use it for a specific purpose. Vomit in a rug, or, as I'm sure Chris will have used this week, red wine out of the carpet. Okay, but for an everyday wipe around, my favourite fibre is the Living Soft cloth. So, just exactly the same as the glove, but in a cloth form. Becomes very soft and very malleable. This is new, so it's a little bit harder. It becomes very soft and very tactile to use. I don't always wash it out because I have done exactly what you said. I've just damp dusted all the way round, and I usually just let that dry out and I bung it back in the cupboard, and then I'll use it again because it's only light bits of dust on it, whereas this one, as you can see here, I tend to use it for something specific and then it usually goes in the wash. So you may find that the thing that you want to add in, I think this may actually be one of my favourite fibres. I think it's quite underrated, but I really love it. So this is a Living Soft cloth, and that's the one to use. Great question. I'm so glad somebody asked it. Thank you very much. Right, so let's think about, I'm just going to pop that up there so we know where we are. Do you know what? We're on episode 30. I mean, how is that even possible that we have already reached episode 30? I just think that's all a little bit nuts. So it's exciting though, isn't it? Right, I'm having a few phone traumas, so apologies for that. I'll just put that down there. Right, let's move on to our next question. Oh, this is great. And this really affected me. So I have a little bit of personal testimony here. Next question is, my question for Monday night is, I have a septic tank and it smells. If I start using the Enyo washing liquid, dishwasher liquid, orange blossom washing up liquid, will it help my septic tanks and help it stop smelling? Let me tell you a story. So, when I moved into my house, which is now, 12 years ago. Yes, 12 years ago, we moved here. Hadn't been lived in for a few years before we arrived. And our septic tank was not working. I was also not using Enyo at the time. So every year we would have to get it pumped out. And people said, well, of course you have to get it pumped out. Nobody's lived in the house for years. It's not really a surprise. All right. So I thought, well, that's okay. And then I was using septic tank friendly things that I was putting down there. So I assumed that I was doing everything I needed to do. 3 years that we lived here, 3 years that we had to have it pumped out. Then we changed and moved to Enyo. Not only did our septic tank stop smelling because we weren't putting in all those chemicals that were inhibiting the process of breaking down everything that was inside, but it was actually increasing the anaerobic activity and it has never filled up again. So that's our personal testimony. I have one here for you from Canada, all right? Because I don't want you to just take my word for it. Let me read it to you. Living in the township of Huron-Kinloss in rural Ontario as a homeowner, I'm required to have a septic tank inspection every 8 years. God, holy moly, don't bring that in. I purchased this property 3 years ago and it was pumped out at that time. I'd never seen the inside of the two-tank system, so I was right there when the inspector opened it up. He seemed quite impressed when he took the lid off, and his first question was, did you just have this pumped out? So, the lady says, no, I didn't. He was really surprised. Oh, I'm so surprised. And he said, well, what do you use then? Because you haven't got any sludge at the bottom. You haven't got the filter on the second tank, which most of us would need to get it all working. He said, well, surely then you're not using very much. She said, well, I've got multiple teenagers. They have showers every day. We've got the laundry on all the time. He said it was the healthiest septic tank he'd ever seen. And then she said the light bulb went off. I told him that my home is chemical free and I just use Enyo. And he explained that using all of those things and the laundry ball, all right, and the liquids that we use, which do not have all those fillers in and all those inhibitors in, all right, was what was keeping her septic tank healthy. So, will your septic tank stop smelling? I think it's going to have a really good chance. Right, I can only speak from testimony and from what other people have said, but it should really, right, stop those smells and whiffs because you're just using water, which is going to help the whole anaerobic process, and hopefully that will be tip top. Isn't that amazing? I think that's really incredible. I know, Kathleen, how exciting that you know so much about septic tanks. I know. I imagine it will be a sleepless night with excitement. Let's talk about something else, right? We've got 10 minutes. I've got quite a lot to do, but we may have to do some more another day. I love your questions. Thank you so much. Right, I'm going to do one more on outdoor and then I'm going to talk about what's available for the rest of this month so that you don't miss out, all right? Because I don't want you to do that. I have someone who said, I've used my outdoor glove to clean my my garden table, so black plastic type, and the chairs, they're covered in pollen and soil particles, dust, insect poo, bird poo. You know the situation. It's exactly the same if you have anything outside. And also metal window frames, similar sort of dirt, but lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of it. So this glove, if you remember, the outdoor glove, the garage glove, that's the lighter grey one, it has to be a really loose weave, because otherwise what would happen to your car? it would get really scratched because the tightness would hold it against the paintwork. And what we know is that Enyo doesn't scratch because it's lifting up, it's trapping and holding those bigger particles in the glove, all right? But what we need to do is keep on dipping and rinsing it. Now, this kind of ties in with another question that I had about the thresholds. So I think that's what this lady's talking about. So what do we do to split and get the best use out of the fibres? Yes, if I'm using it on garden furniture, I do use more water, and I find that that helps the process because just like my car, I rinse off the big particles first before I actively clean it. I clean it with the glove and I hose it off again before I dry it. Exactly the same if I'm doing something like that plastic. However, what do you do in the middle of it? Yes, if you're on your garden furniture, you might need to roll it and squeeze it, give it a really good squeeze out. Actually, if you get the hold of it and just whack it like that, it will shoot out the water and remove most of that for you before you then dry it. But what about the thresholds? And someone else had sent me this question too and said, I love using my combi wiper, but how do I get into the thresholds? Now, do you remember this little Herbert? It is much maligned, and I don't think we've really made enough of it for its purpose. But this is the outdoor flexi fibre. Do you know what it's brilliant at? It is brilliant at thresholds, the inside of your UPVC. It will trap and hold the dirt. It has this little bit on the end so that you don't kill the end of the fibre. Right, you pull it out and then you can just let the fibre go flat all the way along there. A few weeks ago, well actually maybe even near the beginning of lockdown, because we'd had some great training from head office, I went out and did all my thresholds. I didn't even know one should do such a thing, but it really does the job. The other thing you could use, if it wasn't overly dirty and you were trying to do, would be to get your glove out, and sometimes I make the end of that damp and I work my way around my UPVC as well. So a mixture of these two should sort out your problem. But it's like everything, isn't it? Sometimes it's a little bit trial and error, like using your green glove to deal with candle wax, but these two, this one particular, brilliant for thresholds. If you've got bigger particles on your outdoor stuff, give it another hose down before you dry it. Hopefully that will sort the problem. Right. Do you know what I've loved about this? We're going to do it again. But I love it because there's been such a variety of questions. I haven't even got through them all tonight, so I'm going to drip them in over the next few weeks on and off. Centre of your car roof, outdoor flexi. What a great idea. Brilliant. In fact, I used that on the caravan the other day. You're right, Chris. What a great thing to do. All right, middle of your car where you can't reach. Thank you very much. Oh, every day's a school day. So, what do I need to tell you? Well, first of all, as I said, excitement of all excitements. This has been released. Enyo gift guide. So, if you would like to have a look at the Enyo gift guide for autumn seasonal gifts, then please get in touch and I can fire that off to you. There is also just a couple of days to grab our Time to Enyo pack. Right, this just runs until the end of September. If you've been biding your time, now is the time. So you have got the all-purpose cloth, that one that we were talking about for using crumbs, and a full-size kitchen Enyo fill, the bathroom duo cloth, and a full-size bathroom Enyo fill, and the dust pad, which I love. Right, the value of those is £100, but you can grab them until the end of September for £79. If you're new to Enyo, this is a great place to start. Right, that's the first thing that I need to tell you. The second thing is this little pack here, which is called A Time to Shine. And that is our amazing leather and wood balm. And I think we're going to use this next week, so I haven't got time to do this now. So I'm going to talk about the leather and wood balm, the polishing cloth, and it comes with a little applicator pad as well. I'm going to talk about the differences of those and why I might, all right, need 2 of those and not just 1. You can have a little hint when you have a look at mine. Look at that. I have 2 pads. Can you see one is one colour and one is another? One I always use with my balm and the other one I use dry. What sort of things will it do? Well, using it dry, little salt cellar here, which is silver, and you can see there that that will just start removing. If you have a look at the black on the fibre, maybe there's a little bit better. You can see it there. All right, so the black on the fibre is just the tarnish coming off the silver. And it's one of Enyo's softest fibres. So I use this to buff and also apply with the balm, but on its own, it will also just remove lighter tarnish. We can talk about heavier tarnish too, but look, I think you can see really well there all the black that's come off and all the shininess that is now on my salt pot. All right, so it's a fantastic little pack. This is also what I would use to create boots that look, here we go. Right, boots that look shiny rather than boots that look tired and sad. All right, so that's what I will be using for waterproofing all my boots as well. And we'll talk about that process, I think, next week, because we're just getting to that season, aren't we? When we want dry feet, because it's going to start raining. So that's a lot of excitement to look forward to. Kathleen, I can see that you have a question there. The most outlandish thing that I've heard Enyo being used for. Well, many a thing. I think one of the things I enjoyed the most was actually seeing someone's Highland cows, their horns being treated with leather and wood balm. All right, and they just brought them up beautifully. But there's so many amazing things. In fact, I am yet to find something that I can't use Enyo on, which just delights me. So that's great, isn't it? We have just a couple more days of the month. And that means we have just a couple more days of our hosts being able to grab the Flexi set. And if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, I had just been underneath my sofa and got some amazing things out from under there that obviously been there for some time. It is not too late. We still have time to do a demo online, to do that before month end. So if you've been, again, thinking, oh yes, I was going to do that, forgot to do it, still got time to do it. But next month, we have a whole new offer. Now, my beautiful daughter was, I do not know where it is. She was putting this together for me earlier. Here we go. Rebecca loves to laminate. All right, so we have a new host offer, which is our dishwasher liquid, laundry liquid, and the marble paste. Usually £60, $4.39. So that is our host seasonal special that you can grab for October, November and December, in addition to your shopping vouchers, which you can also get as well when you have some people together to have a demo. Can I just say, it's not tricky. You just need a few people. We go online for Zoom and it works really well. You don't have to tidy up, don't have to produce any snacks. It's good fun. So if you haven't had a demo for a while, if you've been thinking about having another one, if you've been thinking about adding into your Enyo, then now might just be a good time to put something in the diary. All right, and we can just look at that, particularly because we have all of these amazing specials, which I'm going to talk to you about next week. I'm not going to do them all in one week, but I'm just going to talk to you about the amazing seasonal discounts that we have. Oh, I'm sorry that I've upset someone there. Right, so great offers. If you'd like to see them, if next week is too far away for you, they are either inside my VIP group, so you can ask to go into there, or if you would like me to send them to you direct, then please get in touch and I will do that. Thank you so much for all of your questions. Somebody will be the lucky winner of my exfoliating pad next week, so come along and find out if that's you. Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you for your time. I love spending my Mondays with you. Have a lovely week. And if I haven't got to your question, if there's something else that is burning within you, it's never too late. Right, you can always just ping me a message and I can help you out with that as well. Have a great week, everybody. Cheers then. Bye bye.